Didn't think about that.
You know, one note from yesterday afternoon that I just saw, it came from last night, actually, from the 918, in reference to Mack Rhodes and the questions about moving on with Texas and Oklahoma, which has now been out there for, well, since really July of 2021. As a Sooner fan, I just want it to be over with as soon as possible. And I think everybody, you know, initially there was bitterness if you were one of the 8 left behind, and you're a little bit frightened about what the future holds, and all of it's kind of worked itself out for everybody, and it will for Texas and OU, and it will for everybody else. But I do get the feeling now that it seemed like if you just get in a room, hey, go. There's going to be a payment, but there's going to have to be a large check, big ones, written before it's all said and done. But I think everybody's to that point now of just go. You go get your stuff, write the check, and leave, and I think both fan bases want that. And I also think the 8 teams, yes, but you need to write those checks first, and whatever those checks turn out to be. Dennis Dodd's given us different numbers on what that could end up being.
Yeah, I would just love to be a fly on the wall and just hear them explain what it would take. That's the unknown. What will it take? I mean, outside of just here's this lump sum that we've kind of we don't even know for sure exactly what the number is. We've just assumed based on previous contracts and, various write-ups are well, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of blah, 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 80 to 100 million or whatever, right? But we've never seen a super firm number. I would love to know if Oklahoma and Texas want to leave after this year, what is the cost? Exactly. What is the exact cost? And then I want to go to Oklahoma, Texas and say, okay, you want to leave right now.
Here it is.
Here's $85 million that you need to pay and go. And if they say, well, no, okay, well, then here's your answer. Texas and Oklahoma don't want to pay their money right now. They want to sit on it for a year, and that's why this is not happening. Or if they say, something otherwise, and then you get into the debate about it. But I would love to just know, what's the debate right now? What is it surrounding? Is it you don't want to pay $85 million, but you're willing to pay $55 million, but the Big 12 is clearly not going to give you that discount? What is the actual desire, first of all, of Oklahoma and Texas? Do they want to go next year, or do their fans want them to go next year? You know what I mean? And I think that they're probably like everybody else, and that they feel the same way of the sooner we can get there, the better. Then pay the freaking tab and leave as you wish.
Yeah, and not just we want to leave just because you want to leave. Do you really want to leave knowing that it's going to cost you $89 to $100 million?
And it's one less year that you have people not wanting to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're not necessarily of the belief that, it's just going to keep on rolling along. Why? Because it's Oklahoma. I mean, that's kind of what you're holding on to. And, you're supplanted or gassed up by the recruits that Brent Venables is getting or this or that, but you're really doing it off more faith than anything based on what we saw last year. So, I think there probably are some people that are hold your horses. We're going to get there. It's just one extra year. But I would love to know who's on which side of that coin.
It's one extra year, but it was supposed to be 2. Because everyone expected. Paxton goes, I want to go now. I said, you mean after 23, 24 now? He's a Texas fan.
Paxton's not paying anything.
No, he's not.
It's easy to say. That's what I mean is we hear all the time of what they want to do. Oh, I know what Longhorn Johnny wants to do, but I don't know what, actually the people in charge at Texas, Kevin Eltife and those folks, what they want to do. So that's what I would love to know. I would just love to see behind the curtain on what is the actual holdup, because there is a lot of speculation, but we don't really know the dirty deets of why or why not. That's
Mack Rhodes has given us a little bit of insight on that, but he can only say so much. But here's a call. Provo. Is the SEC willing to reschedule everything to take them next season? Because didn't they just released the schedule for this year?
This year.
Yeah, that for 1 year. And the Big 12, of course, maybe by Monday will do theirs. Let me read a couple of these, Paul, because people are coming off with this. Tim, I think the remaining 8 want money from Texas and Oklahoma to cover the $16 million per year being paid to the new schools, and that was what story Dennis Dodd had. Mm-hmm. So the remaining 8 have motivation to make them pay and leave early. Paula, I want the $85 million paid in full, no negotiations, no discounts. UT and Oklahoma tried to destroy the Big 12, and they need to pay all of their exit fees. There are exit fees, and then there are still negotiated fees based on the fact the grant of rights runs through 2099. even though the new TV deal will kick in a couple of years, and it gets the legalese, and I'm sure that they're trading back information left and right.
Yeah, I think I mean, they really have to look in the mirror, Texas and Oklahoma, and say, how badly do we not want to have road games in Cincinnati? Like, that's what, do you really not want to do this, for a second year? Do you really, really not? Or will you just grin and bear it and then deal with it on the way out? And I do think that part of the thing is that the Big 12 knows that scheduling this 14-team league for one season has been probably hard enough, and they would rather, especially and we're not even into basketball yet of what that schedule is going to be, or gymnastics or any of the, tennis. I mean, I said gymnastics. I've been thinking about the SEC, I guess. But,
I know there's some in the Big 12 that do that.
But whatever other sports you have going on, tennis and volleyball and all that. So the less they have to do that for a year of an entire athletic calendar, I think the happier everybody will be, so they can figure it all out. But again, it's really Texas and Oklahoma know what the Big 12 is going to take. I mean, they know what it is. So they're going to have to find the gumption within themselves to go, all right, it's worth it to us to go.
Swallow?
Yeah. That's what, because I don't think that.
You made this comment, and we have more than just Paxton as a Texas fan. Is it really beneath you if you had to go play a road game in Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati? Ew?
No, that's just the mindset.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not.
That's the part that I get annoyed by. I've said it from day one. I have nothing against Texas. Plenty of friends, all that kind of jazz. I don't need to explain it to anybody, quite frankly. But no ill will or anything like that. It's just the arrogance sometimes that bothers me, and it's coming from people that if I saw them in daily life on the sidewalk, you wouldn't be sitting. But all of a sudden, you get your team involved, and you talk down to me like I'm not worthy because I root for a different team. But that part of it, from just random parts of the fan base, that is an annoyance. But I know you can get that with various fan bases. Alabama's got their fair share, and Oklahoma's got their fair share, and so on and so forth. But that arrogance that you just see so widely, just like Cincinnati, we won't go to Cincinnati. Who the hell are you, dude? Honestly, who are you? That's the part that bothers me. So, should it be beneath them? Absolutely not. Do fans or probably even administration feel like though it is beneath them? Absolutely they do. Yes, absolutely they do. Some of them, yes, absolutely some do. But like anything, like I just said, any fan base, you're going to get this percentage and that percentage and what have you of arrogance or respect or lack thereof and all of that. But that whole looking down your nose, it's one thing if you're like Joe Jamel doing that, or somebody who's really swinging big sticks. But when you're
the late Joe Jamel,
Johnny 24, that I'm sorry, you don't want to go to Cincinnati. Well, I don't give a damn. You're not in charge, and it's not beneath you, believe it or not. Yeah, I don't think so.
We have a guest at 4:30.